Morning, guys. We're going to look at it's test review number 4. When we get back to school, we're probably going to have one review day and then go ahead and take the test over these equations that have fractions in them. All right, so this will be your assignment front and back for Wednesday. All right, you know we got to get rid of the fractions, so what we're going to do is find a common denominator. So look at all the numbers on the bottom. Find a number that all three will divide into. In this case, it's 6. So we're going to do 6, 6, and 6. All right, 6 cancels out 6. You bring down x squared. 3 goes into 6 twice. Whatever's left over, you got to multiply. 2 times x is 2x. Half of 6 is 3. All right, from here, everybody should be good. We've got to factor this out, so I got to move 3 over, make it a negative. I got x minus 3 and x plus 1. I got positive 3 and negative 1. That's number 1. All right, this one's different because if you have on the bottom, when you're finding your common denominators, if you have a plus or a minus, it makes it an expression. And what we do here is use one of everything. So you're going to use x and x minus 6, x and x minus 6. And what I would like for you guys to do is stop the video, see if you can do it by yourself, then go ahead and see if you got the answer right. All right, x is canceled. Whatever's left over, y'all have to multiply together. So I got an x minus 2 and an x minus 6. All right, so we got to FOIL that out. So go ahead and FOIL that out. Again, try to do it by yourself. Don't watch me do it. Y'all got x squared minus 6x minus 2x plus 12. All right side's going to be a little bit easier. The x minus 6 is canceled. Whatever's left over, you got to distribute. I got an x and x minus 4. So that's just going to be x squared minus 4x. All right, so let's get our like terms together. When I move x squared over here, it's going to make it a minus x squared. They're going to cancel. So I've got negative 8x plus 12 equals negative 4x. Y'all should be able to solve it from here. Move that over. I got negative 4x equals negative 12. I got x equals 3. Remember, if it doesn't have an x squared, you're not going to factor it. You're just going to solve it. So once these x squares cancel out, basically just doing like terms and solving the equation. Check it to make sure it works. If I plug 3 in here, 3 minus 6 is negative 3. Remember, as long as it's not a 0, it works. All right, number 3. And I may not do all these for y'all. Y'all can probably do some by yourself. The only thing on the bottom, well, we got an x minus 3 and we got a 4. And remember the rule, you got to use one of everything on the bottom. So that's going to be 4 and x minus 3. All right, so stop the video right now. See if you can do your crossing out and go all the way through it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. X minus 3 is cancel. Bring down 36. X minus 3 is cancel. I got 4x minus 16. Right here, 4 cancels. I got x minus 3 left over. All right, solve the equation. So we got 36, 5x minus 19. Move minus 19 over, that's plus 19. That's going to give me, let's see, 56, 55. All right, so we got x equals 11. All right, number 4, I feel like you guys are going to be okay by yourself. One of each on the bottom means x and x minus 1, x and x minus 1. And don't forget this one, x and x minus 1. All right, I'm going to let you guys do your work on that, go all the way through it. And I'm not going to show that one for you. I think that's one you can do by yourself. All right, let's go to 5. All right, 5 is a little bit tricky. We haven't had a lot of these. We have to look at the bottom and see if we can factor anything out. And when you see an x squared, or in this case an a squared, you need to look at that and try to factor it. Well, what do these two have in common? Well, they got an A in common. So y'all know, take out an A. All right, and something else we've discussed, when you go to factor out, what you're going to get is going to be what was on the denominator on all the other ones anyway. So our common denominator, if I use one of everything on the bottom, is A and A minus 7. Whoops. So I got A and A minus 7. A minus 7. A minus 7. All right, and stop the video and go from there and see what you can do. A minus 7's cancel. 6 times A is 6A. Everything cancels here. So bring down A minus 49. Over here, the A's cancel, and I got A minus 7. All right, so solve your equation. I got 6A equals 2A minus 56. Move that over, I got 4A equals negative 56. So A will equal whatever 56 divided by 4 is. I think that's 14. Let's keep going. All right, so 6 and 8 look similar. So maybe if I do 6, y'all can do 8. All right, we got an A squared here. So we're going to factor it out. And remember, when you factor it, it's going to be what's on the denominator of the other one. So it's going to be an A minus 7 and an A minus 2. That makes sense because I can add them up to get negative 9, and I can multiply them to get positive 14. So our common denominator is A minus 7 and A minus 2. All right, so the A minus 7's cancel. I'm going to bring down A minus 2. A minus 2 cancels. I got to distribute right here. A times A is A squared. A times 7 is negative 7A. Now, everything cancels here, so just bring down your 5. All right, so are we going to factor this one? Sure, because I've got an A squared. So I got, A squared, add these two up. 1 minus 7 is negative 6A. Move that over, makes it negative 5. Now add them up, that's negative 7. So this is going to factor out, or you can do quadratic formula. If you guys need to write down the quadratic formula for later, I'll put it here. B squared minus 4AC over 2A. Can y'all see that? Okay. All right, so I'm going to factor this. I just think that's going to be faster. A minus 7, A plus 1. You can times them and get the last number. You can add them to get the middle. So that answer's 7. That answer's negative 1. Now, let's look at something. Why do we mark out 7? Because remember, you're supposed to check your answers. 7 minus 7 would give you a 0, so you can't use that. How about negative 1? Negative 1 minus 7 is negative 8. That's okay. And negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. That's okay. So the only issue we have is with the 7. And remember, if you mark both of them out, it's no solution. But in this case, we have negative 1 left over. All right, so you guys should be able to do 8 by yourself. It looks very similar. Number 7. Common denominator on number 7 is going to have to be one of each, right? So I got a W minus 2 and a W plus 1. I'm going to go ahead and write that above all of them. W plus 1, W minus 2. You guys have a habit of forgetting down here. We still got a W plus 1 and a W minus 2. All right, so again, stop the video. Try to do it by yourself before you check your answer with what I've got. So W minus 2 cancels. I got 4W plus 4. All right, W plus 1 cancels. This is where sometimes y'all make mistakes. Wow, we haven't had one like this. That negative goes with W plus 6. So if I distribute it, that's negative W minus 6. And you got to bring down W minus 2. Now, we got to full that out. And then bring it down. So we're going to have negative W squared plus 2W minus 6W plus 12. So that was a little bit different. We've never had a FOIL method where we had a negative on the first W, but it's okay. Over here, nothing cancels. I'm going to have to FOIL this out. So it's going to look similar with this probably. No, not quite. W times W is W squared minus 2W plus 1W minus 2. All right, so now you guys combine your like terms. I'm going to take negative 1W squared, move it over. All right, that's going to give me 1 plus 1, which is 2W squared. All right, so now I've got them together. Let's do like terms. 4W plus 2 minus 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 6, well, they all cancel. 4 plus 12 is 16. Over here, I've got negative 1W minus 2. All right, so now take 16 and move it over. That'll be minus 18. All right, I'm hoping this factors out. Haven't done this one before. Maybe I won't make my normal one mistake per class. 2W and 1W. I'd try 6 and 3. 6 and 3. That one. Let's try 9 and 2. That's not looking good. Possible I messed up on this one. Let's try 6 and 3. 6. That ain't gonna work. All right. Check my mistake on this one. All right, so let's first make sure I copied it down right. I don't have you guys here helping me today. 4W minus 2 minus W plus 6 equals 1. That cancels 4W plus 4. That cancels. I got negative W minus 6 and W minus 2. So that's negative W squared plus 2W minus 6W plus 12. W squared minus 2W plus 1W minus 2. I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to try it again. Like terms, I got negative W squared. 4 plus 2 minus 6. That all cancels. Plus 16. Got W squared minus 1W minus 2. So if I take that and move it over, I got 2W squared. I take that and move it over as minus 16. That gives me negative 1W minus 18. And we already said that wouldn't factor. I'm going to try it again. I tell you what, probably won't factor, so I'll just do quadratic formula from here, and that'll be my answer. 1 plus or minus. 1 minus 4 times 2 times negative 18 over 4. So let me grab a calculator. Square root of 145. 1 plus or minus root 145 over 4. Let's check this. 145 will not break down. I'm going to pause and check my answer key for a second. All right, if any of you guys got anything different on this one, just send me an email or make a comment on Google Classroom and I'll fix my mistake. But that's not looking good at all. All right, 8 should be pretty quick. We're going to factor this. It's probably going to be those two. Let's check to make sure. Times them, yeah, that's it. So your common denominator is x plus 4 and x minus 2. All right, and I'm going to let y'all do that one by yourself. All right, let's flip over. Now the back we just started on. These are called radical equations because they have square root symbols. They have radicals in them. And you guys know we need to square both sides in order to get rid of that square root symbol. So that gives me 9x plus 1 equals 64. You just solve it from there. Move plus 1 over. That'll give you negative 1 at 63. So your answer's 7. I don't see where that's going to be any trouble on the test. Let's go to 10. Take that and move it over. Got 5x minus 3 equals 11. Now, in the last problem, we had to square both sides. This problem, we're going to have to cube both sides because we got a cube root. So 11 to the third, I have no idea. I'll have to take my calculator and punch that in. 11 to the third. Got 1331. And this one may be a nasty fraction, I'm not sure. Move your minus 3 over. That'll give you 1334. Yeah, I probably should have made that 5x minus 4 so it would work out. But it's okay. We'll just leave a decimal. So I got 1334 divided by 5. I got 266.8. And I'll fix that next year so it'll give me a whole number. I'll make that a minus 4. Make sure I hadn't made a mistake. I get 11, 11 to the third. Looks good unless I copied it wrong. Looks good. All right, next one. Let's go to 11. 36 minus x minus 13 equals 0. We've done this one a couple different ways. Some of us moved the 36 over last week, make it a negative 36, so we'll just stay with that. Alright, now you got to get the square root symbol by itself so you can square both sides. So I got to move the negative 1. Well, we can divide both sides by negative 1. That would cancel it. X minus 13 equals 36. Square both sides and get an answer now, and that one shouldn't be any trouble. Alright, 12 looks pretty easy. 6x plus 7. 9x minus 20. Alright, so if you square both sides here, and you've got to get rid of the square root symbol, and you just bring down 6x plus 7 equals 9x minus 20. Solve this equation from here, negative 3, and it should work out. Not going to be a fraction on that one. Y'all can finish that. Alright, next one, last one, 13. The ones who have been working on these have been getting better. Alright, so when we have more than one square root in our problem, we got to have one on the left and one on the right. So this one's already set up. Alright, so I square the left side and I square the right side. Well, the right side, the square takes care of the square root. You just bring down a plus 3. Alright, that's great. The left side, that can't happen because the negative 1 messes everything up. So I'm going to write it down twice. And we've got to do the FOIL method now. Alright, so let's FOIL this out. So when I times these two square roots, remember, if they're exactly the same, then the square roots just cancel out. Y'all just bring down a plus 14. When I times these two, just put the negative 1 in front of the square root. That's easy. When I times these two, same thing. Negative times a negative is a positive 1. Alright, let's combine like terms now. 14 plus 1 is 15. Negative 1 and negative 1 is negative 2. I hope this one works. I made this one up the other day. Alright, like terms. When I move this one over here, then my A's cancel out. Alright, what can I do? I can move plus 15 over here, make it a minus 15. So that's going to give me -2 square root equals -12. All right, so if I want the square root symbol by itself, I divide by -2. So now I've got square root of a plus 14 equals 6. And most of you know from here we got to square both sides. So I got a plus 14 equals 36. Move that over. I got 22. So I did a good job getting us a whole number on that. All right, so maybe the weather will be better and we come to school Thursday. All right, I'll see y'all then.